Hello, good evening. I see, Arun, I see. If you're still here, good luck. Don't crash, but well, if you have to crash, it's there is good reasons for it, right? I hope it was a nice wedding party that you had. Hi James, hi Nicholas. It's gonna be quite a short race, only like 2 hours 24, right? It's not... Wait. Have I calculated the strategy wrongly? I assumed it's... Oh no, wait. So before we go out do laps, well, maybe let's just load the setup and put a bit less fuel into it. I guess 2 hot lap attempts, potentially. 2 out laps, 2 hot laps. Then let's quickly check. Well, 2 hours times 60 obviously, plus 24. 144 minus, let's say, 3 pit stops divided by a 4-minute lap. Well, times 60. 35 lap. What did I calculate before? That's a great start to the stream. I mean, that's gonna make the strategy easy, right? A bit more calculated. So 144-minute race. Minus 36 laps. 35, 36. That's 9 laps per stint. Okay, well, I thought we would need to fuel save a little bit, but we won't have to. Alright. Hey Joao. Let's quickly fix the... or reset the overlay so it's still showing Sven in P2 on wets. Alright. I guess it's just the feature. So yeah, indeed, only 2.4 hours today. Yesterday we had 3 hours, plus a whole hour of qualifying before that, so should be slightly easier. Maybe a couple more straights than at Monaco. I was quite surprised to see actually peak of LMU players today being at 4. I mean, kind of makes sense that, well, it's a dark afternoon, sunset is early, so people just go racing, and then this race ends quite late in the evening, so makes sense that people gravitated towards the earlier time slot. Anyway, we have quite a grid today, both in Hypercar and GT3. Hachemi, 4K... Wait, what do you mean 4K? Players, I don't think it was quite 4K. When I checked, it was like 1.8K, which is actually more than previous days, which is, well, really positive. I think it was like 2.2 on the release day, then it went down to 1.5, 1.3, and then back up to 1.8 today and yesterday. Almost 1.9, okay. Yeah, that's alright numbers. I mean, it has to stay there, right? 1.6 current. Yeah, it dropped down a little bit. Yeah, the release day was crazy. But, well, release day is a release day, always. I actually went and checked the ACC amount of players when it got released, and it's funny, like it just jumps out and then exponentially drops down. Or like, no, what's inversely exponentially drops down. Like it went up to, I don't know, 1k and then down to 300 and then up to 2k down to 500. It just like was stabbing into all-time highs and dropping down until COVID began, and then it was just increasing and it never dropped down. Well, LMU will not have that luxury of having whole Earth getting pushed into finding new hobbies. Niels trashing the tire model, yeah, I don't know, like Niels is always trashing something. Was Jardier trashing FFB? I watched a little bit of him, but he sounded like he was enjoying. Also, I watched a little bit of Broadband's stream yesterday, and that one was alright. His closing remarks were that it's like the best if it works. He had some really weird stutters, like I never have stutters like he had. I really don't know what Niels means about overdriving. I'm just trying to survive in every corner, not turning too much. The rear rotates a lot. Yeah, good job, Walter. I saw a little bit of that. And I saw you, James, as well. Nice strategy work there. Let's see if the rain comes today. It didn't came yesterday. If some of you watched the end of today Niels stream, was it raining? Yes, yeah, okay. So I saw Dan, I think, commenting that it's like 51% chance of drizzle. I guess it never is high enough for wets. Niels is still driving, of course. Hi, Jan. That curb on the entry into this Arnage corner is not high enough. Or maybe the car is too high up in the air. Karol, it's not Nils Huizenkwell, but Nils Naujoks. The ACC enjoyer and nowadays ACC dev or something. Alright, qualifying. 25 minutes of qualifying? Really? Let me take a little bit more fuel. $25 of quali, that's a lot. Okay. There is no rule book about pit lane, so it's fine. Street justice, very unfair, but hi Colin, thank you. Fake calf shout. What is that exactly? Nice dive from Lambo. Okay, yeah, the hypercars are coming. Yeah, I really wonder how much of what Nils is saying is actually like grounded in any proper data that he has in his head, and how much of it is just being biased because he spent so many hours on ACC because he enjoys driving like ACC drives, and then also being, well, paid by who knows now, if I understand correctly. Already praising AC Evo, yeah, I mean... overall, yeah, I think the reception of the new GT3s was really positive. I think people are just, like, baseline enjoying it. We are all a bit biased in some aspect. It's just, yeah, I mean, the bigger following you have, the more kind of professional you're trying to sell yourself as, the more you have to be careful of how you back your statements. Hi Jim, hi Clarkza. Yeah, Gamer Muscle is, well, yeah, he's honest, but like, you are not watching him for the ultimate pace or like ultimate driving performance, right? Well, either way, it's quali. I need to put a lap together. Supposedly the Ferrari is quite fast around here. I've tried the McLaren and the BMW a little bit. To be honest, I much prefer the BMW, but I was already deep enough into the McLaren so that I told myself, well, let's try it at Le Mans, and then next time maybe I try BMW if I don't go for hypercars in this event. And both cars were kind of same fast, but I think it was Jan Osterman in the previous race going extremely fast in the BMW, in the Ferrari. Of course, look at that. I mean, that's one way of approaching the 3D justice problem of LMU. I'm gonna let that hypercar through and then we are going. Alright. So, Osterman, yeah, Jacob did 57, or didn't he do 57.2 or something like that? That's crazy fast. My PB for now is 58.8, I think. It's a very sideways. Took the corner in the McLaren way. Yeah, I think in these high slip conditions there is still a little bit missing, like it should overheat tires more, and that overheating should, especially at these temperatures, 48 track temp, it should not be possible to not lose lap time by having such a drift, but they will be fixing it. Purple sector 1, nice. Copy, James. Why was that a green cut? LMP2 now is a dream. I have not even tried LMP2 after the update. Must be nice, I suppose. Yeah, Joao, I know everything about iRacing. I had the first comment on that Jaime Hotlap video when William Chadwick did real-life Ferrari Hotlap in the dry versus iRacing Ferrari Hotlap in the wet at Spa. They produced exactly the same lap time. Wet versus dry. Crazy. Yeah, Indy King and Indy Hairpin are huge scent in these cars. You kind of lose the rear a little bit after the Indy King, but then you smash the brake and ABS catches you. I don't know if that's realistic. Could be, but I guess in real life nobody is risking it. These GT3s ride so high up in the air that you can just eat the curb at high speed. Maybe the tires are just too squishy and forgiving as well. .6. Okay. I suppose that's a solid start. Let's see if the tires are any good in the second lap. that's a cut. Yeah, it didn't go away, so we brake. I guess the guy had the same issue. Alright, you mean the side walls? Yeah, I don't know what I mean. I don't really know that much about tire physics, to be honest. I mean, I guess the side walls are... Ooh, the Ferrari's fast. To be honest, I think we should just go for single attempts now. And it's still showing the people on wets. It doesn't reset. All right. Anyway. It's also kike. I don't even know how to pronounce that. Oh, hi Jacob. Yeah, I was wondering about these distances and slots, like how they're done, and I was quite surprised that as we were already in the official server here, the previous race was still going. That's a bit weird. Maybe Dan and Andy kind of assume that if people do one race, they will not want to do another race because it's 2.4. But well, that's not how sim racers think, right? Sim racers sometimes like to just drive. Keiki. Kaiki. I guess that's correct. Hey Jacob, I saw that, yeah, 57. So it was 57 too. Yeah, that's quite good. Hi Salute. So tire pressures, I think, are like in real life. So they are very limited by the game. Like in real life, they're limited by rules or by manufacturer. So you cannot go lower than, I don't know, 140 kPa. But yeah, you just have to always run the least possible, because, well, less pressure is faster tire, and it never goes low enough to make it, well, start damaging the compound and so on. Like they do in F1 as well, always need to target minimum possible pressures, just that they measure it differently. I really don't know what's the point of ACC requiring very precise pressure window. I don't think it's really like that in real life, but might be wrong. And setups are, I mean, they're critical, but they are not overly critical. The main thing is always to well, stay stable, but at the same time allow the setup or allow the car to kind of rotate enough. Understeer setup will eventually kill the fronts. But in RF2 and LMU, I don't think it's been as critical to have crazy esport setups compared to other sims. Got killed by hypercar, oh dear. And there is a lot of different principles that you can approach the setup. You can make it mechanically more oversteery and aero understeery, so like lower rear ride height for less rake, but then stiffer rear dampers, less toe in, less preload, or a lot stiffer anti-roll bar. Oops. Or you can make it mechanically understeery and then just have a lot of rake. need to wait enough so that I don't get dived into T1. But I think the guy is already on his lap, or is maybe finishing it, yes. Okay, can I find 4/10? Way too deep on the ABS. Yellow track limit. For what? What? Okay, that's first time it was inconsistent there. Like that's inside. And here it was always possible to use the curb. Did they make it? In the practice I was using whole curb, way more than this. Okay, well that's weird. I really did not expect that. Oh, hello Ryan. Yeah, I got green last lap and I went a lot deeper into there. I don't know. Yeah, Jacob, it's understandable. It's just, I mean, I can kind of feel relatable. I tried not to be in the way of that Ferrari. It's kind of relatable to me because how he talks about LMU is how I feel about ACC, just the other way around. Like, I just cannot really understand some things in ACC. It just doesn't drive naturally. Need to do thousands of laps for me to be within half a second of esports pace, because it just drives like, I don't know, I normally say wooden tires. Just don't get it, any FFB, any feeling. And then on the other hand, Niels feels the same about LMU, I suppose, just that he says it allows way too much while playing on the tires. Oh, how did that 24 hours for Anna go? Yeah, about ACC, I was trying to flick it mid-corner when I was doing ACC, when I tried to find pace, but it was just terminal understeer. Terminal understeer everywhere. Or if the car was oversteering, it slipped the rear a little bit and then went instantly into a four-wheel drift, which resulted in big understeer, or like even bigger understeer. So I had to use very understeery setup so that the rear was stable, because if the rear was doing any cornering, then it was eventually resulting in even more understeer. It made absolutely no sense to me. I got so frustrated by it, more than by iRacing. Oh dear Ryan. Well, what's the saying? It's not about the winning, but about the participating. Rip Alex. Slow downs and delayed inputs, yeah, that's not great. Hi Savas. Well, look, LMU track limits are mostly pretty decent if you understand how they work, but more often than not, if you're dancing on the limit between green and yellow, it turns out to be quite inconsistent, or like you have to lose crazy amount of time. You gain maybe a tenth. It supposedly counts how much time you gained, and then you gain a tenth, and then it gives you a yellow cut, and then you have like 3 seconds to brake heavily. You lose a second for it to go green, and yeah, it needs improvement for sure. Lots of traffic. You drove on a dining chair. I mean, that's how I drove for a year or two. When I had that Logitech Formula Force EX or something like that. It was more stable than the office chair because it wasn't on wheels. Right, a bit of space, not blue flag the guy behind too much. And we are trying again. No cut, but that was not optimal. Esports drift costed me a 10th. Oliveira 57.38. I don't think even the greatest esports lap on Mclaren can do a 57.3. Oh dear. Well, we have a bop issue. Always blame on Bob. Although, yeah, I mean, you know, 200 laps of practice and 10 hours of setup work, and I would probably be able to match it. And for now, I don't really know how much of prep he put in, so it's just safer to blame it on BOP. Or maybe I'm just slow on the McLaren on GT3s. Ryan not yet. Thinking of it, trying to figure out a good way to start it. That was terrible. So 2/10.5 lost by my mistakes. Alright, a little bit of improvement. So probably I lost a 10th at least in the last two chicanes now. So it could have been a 58-1 on this setup and on this muscle memory that I currently have. But GG Oliveira. Nice lap. Oof. Already out of breath, and there is so many straights on this track. It's time to retire. Maybe it's time to change the car. Is there a way to crank up the tire sound? Supposedly not, because it's kind of like it's made in a way that it would feel if you were actually sitting in the car. So like all the audio, all the sounds are normalized to what a driver would hear. That's how I understand it. It's all set up. My setup is kind of alright. I mean, JSON lines are always an option to try, but I don't think it's actually implemented. Like, it's in RF2, it's been under those what's it called? Like kind of old settings that are being phased out in the menu, and it did not really work on some cars. On some cars it did, but on newer content it did not. How is Michi doing? I cannot click start driving. Yeah, he could get me here. Oh, flu. Well, I hope the flu disappears soon. These corners are super difficult with the McLaren. Yeah, Michi has bonked. There is zero front downforce, it feels like, in high speed. You have to increase rear right height so much, because rear right height... Yeah, there you go. That is how the McLaren drives, in a nutshell. I think BMW that I tried gained instantly, like in my first attempt it already gained like 3/10 through the Porsche curves. And the McLaren, it just struggles with the front. It has rotation, but it never comes from front downforce. It's just like mechanical. And yeah, you can make it have a lot more front downforce with increasing rear right height, but then it would result in an uncontrollable car. Michi Hoyer is the best sometimes. It's gonna be a nice McLaren trophy for P2. I hope Oliveira just had a super lucky lap and he will actually be catchable in the race, because this gap is a bit worrying. Yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that. Like, if it's a single attempt or like 2 attempts, then it's fine, because you don't catch, as a hypercar, you don't catch the GT3s yet. But then if you have 25 minutes, then basically first or maybe second attempt count if you're doing them in the same outing. But all the other ones, well, you're gonna find a GT3 somewhere. McLaren... Joao, you mean RF2 McLaren? Yeah, I don't even know how to do that. I mean, you still have to kind of use a lot of rear right height and then just use mechanical part of the setup to make it stable. Alright, Homeland. Looking forward to his answer. Ooh! Oh dear. Well, we are on pole, but not in the way that we wanted. Oh no. Rib cake. Or how was it? Cake. Ay, 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 ay. Well, I hope he will be not too angry to send his traces and logs. But that's unfortunate. Yeah, Ryan, I guess the subscription, like if you really race a lot and if you're gonna buy everything anyway, then it probably is the better deal. I mean, I bought the season pack at the start anyway, so I don't have the sub yet. Need to look into it. Well, anyway, let's drive. Oh, poor Oliveira. That's very cruel. But, well, it was even, like, it's the same level of cruelness like Leclerc had in Monaco, right? Should have been on pole, but got a DNF. Or DNS some years ago at Monaco. Wait behind... what? Catch, but wait behind the slow car. I'm scared every time, like it's flashing at me, which means that like if it's flashing a lot it can make a penalty. That message, but well, hopefully we survive that. Yeah, James, about the Pro Series, to be fully honest, I'm just too lazy to put together a stint for now. I have it on the plans, but well, previous week has been kind of full of stuff. So green flag soon, I think. Oh, this is so weird what they're doing. Erratic driving, well, thank you. No penalty, nice. I couldn't accelerate over the sausage. Bad line for me. Very clean hypercars for now. Hope there is some slipstream for half a second behind. I thought I was going for the mandatory cut to get better exit from Tertre Rouge, but somehow the car just stuck to the ground. A bit deep into the chicane, but Michi messed it up even more. This will be quite a slipstream battle for some laps. And if it's actually a BOP advantage for Ferrari, then P4 Hana will have some quite nice speed in these laps. sexy Slovenian accent. Well, is that good or bad? That was not a great exit. Homeland therapy, you can recognize English accents from around Slovenia or what? Okay, he's not going for the move. Good. Erzan has DNF'd. Ah, that curb. He was P5 before. Well, two big competitors already out of the race. Thank you for the sub. Nice lap one from Michi. Jankish, 2.4 hours of wheel to wheel incoming. That's a yellow. Okay, it went green. It went yellow again. Okay. Interesting. I think my car is quite nice at Tertre Rouge, like it's a very crucial corner and very difficult to set it up for. Although then when you're really developing setup for Le Mans, it's easy to kind of get trapped a bit and then optimize the setup just for that exit onto this straight, and that could compromise other parts of the track. Michel is lift and coasting so much. Not sure if that's the best strategy. He had the gap, so normally if you have a little bit of a gap, it's better to keep pushing and not give toe to others. Toe is quite important around here, even though there is not much of it in LMU. And that shouldn't be a green cut even. Yeah, 11 laps, like yeah, it's not really doable. I mean, it's doable, but it doesn't make any sense. So the only point of fuel saving is, well, to have to refuel less and gain time by that, but well, Michi has already lost quite a lot of time by lifting. And then I was lifting a little bit as well, which is silly. That kink is so scary. I have so much PTSD from slow hypercars or LMP2s. Driving slowly next to, like besides the road. Have been collected by them more than once. Not sure if it's better to avoid that anti-cut. I tend to take it a bit. The gap to Hannah in P4 is funny. I think he always gains a lot in the corners. Is it turn 2 that gives me this cut? I mean, now I did really cut a lot. Already on 1 point. Now Sven will have a run on me. ChatGPT prav, da sem norc, well, včasih, če se mi da, ali pa če je dovolj velik nagradni sklad. Yeah, understeer. That's the worst, getting out of sequence through these chicanes and then you just keep falling down because others have more speed out of corners. Hvala za pozdrave. Pozdrav iz Trnovega. Marius, it's still less spying than in real life. Hi Arda, tough luck with the DNF. Yeah, I don't know about the rain. I don't think it's ever worth putting wets on, but not sure. Hi Taige, Anixesh. I kind of forced Michi to take the Mclaren. We were discussing what to do. He didn't really like the car, but I made a relatively fast lap time and then he got convinced. And Sven in P2 has been just driving the Mclaren for the couple of days since the release. PC can't handle 55 cars. Yeah, I don't know. My CPU is being fully choked. Like I have, well now I have 120 FPS here. Let's see at night on the main straight what happens with FPS. And about the comparison between RF2 GT3s and this, it's... if you know how RF2 GT3s drive, then you will understand some traits of these cars. Because like I think aerodynamically and mechanically it's more or less a copy-paste. But the driving experience is a lot different. It's a lot less about well, basically just rotating by rear micro sliding everywhere. Here you're actually using the fronts. And that's a cut. Alright, let's keep it at 1.5 for now. I can... Well, it's... I guess 2 points... 2 points per hour is allowed. Hi La Honda, thank you. Michi is kind of pulling away a little bit. Ah, Sweden doesn't have the DLC. Yeah, I mean, I thought the McLaren would be by far the most popular. Because it's free. But actually people are buying, you know? It's great to see people supporting the developers. And seeing a lot of different cars. Yes, Venice for sure, quite good. Should I be using first gear into Mulsanne hairpin? Second feels like it has enough rotation and just about enough of power, but it's still low revs. I keep doing this line, but I don't think I'm really gaining anything. I'm not losing either. Are Sven and Michi pushing a lot more into Porsche curves? They kind of pull a gap after the first 2 corners there. Which means that they will start struggling with the front tires. Yeah, somehow the fronts are wearing more than the rears on the McLaren here. In RF2 there is no way to make fronts wear more than the rears. Hi Enzo. Another cut. I need to lift. I'm already halfway. Okay, focus. Not getting a penalty now for the cutting. That Tertre Rouge is such a difficult corner to get right. Especially in these cars which don't have that much downforce. Michi going deep into the chicane now. '59 into wet by Jacob. Okay. Well, was it wet enough? Maybe half a second off. Like Sesh, I'm thinking of what to do, because the thermal deck now is crazy. It's quite hot, and there is not too much grip on track, it's medium grip, so the wear will be the highest now. First gear feels a bit more balanced. So I'm thinking, I mean, it's gonna get dark. Track will be very cold, like sub 20 Celsius. And then in the morning, it's not really gonna heat up that much, and then the rain could come. So I'm thinking of even going for an early tire change. Or indeed underfuel the second stint. I think total is like 36 laps. Or yeah, maybe 37 if I'm unlucky with traffic and if in no rain. $12 Celsius in the night. I mean, that sounds quite low. One side-by-side moment from Michi and Sven, and I'll be next to them. What was that line by Michi through that flat-out turn 1 kink? Okay, no cut. Don't cut, don't cut, don't cut. Well, then I almost died when the rear started to rotate, but that's alright. Gonna be actually first legal lap in the whole race, apart from lap 1. Shiny, it's just a coincidence. I think like 2 hours ago Michi was actually signed up or like registered for this race with the BMW, and then at some point it suddenly switched to the McLaren. Maybe I have a little bit too little ABS. had a bit of a deadly wobble when I smashed the brake, but Michi is more and more sideways. Yeah, about wets in the end, like anything can happen, to be honest, but I think there is quite low chance of heavy enough rain to make it worth for the wets. Maybe I should accelerate in first gear. I'm short shifting and I hear some traction control, but when it eventually stops, the revs are still relatively low. The hypercars are coming. Arda, you had the Mclaren as well? Now I think I cut turn 2 but didn't even get the message. Ardo, you had CPU problems or like FPS or was it all just lagging a lot? Big dive, but actually that was lucky for me. Gained a little bit. Who was that? Sven. Oh, poor man. I wonder if he just dropped it by himself or if there was a tap. Yeah, Le Mans is for sure one of the... Yeah, it's the heaviest on FPS. Was it a murder? I didn't really see. I hope Sven is still relatively alive. Well, he's still in P4, so I guess he managed to spin it around fast enough. Hey Kaik, sorry for what happened to you. It would have been your race probably, but thank you. Congrats for that pole lap, it was a really nice lap time. Shiny did feel like... It didn't feel like the hypercars went unsafely fast into the chicane. And then the smoke appeared. Michi melting his front left. That was a good flight over the sausage. Michi in the chat. Tell them. Well, that wasn't too respectful from the hypercar. I guess that Michi is absolutely fuming at the moment. No cut please, thank you. But we are back in the tow. Oh, that was so lucky. Michi got absolutely eaten alive by those 3 hypercars. So Sven dropped down further. P6. I think Michi is actually going 11 laps. Although I kind of doubted it, I was pushing and I couldn't really catch him, and saving, what, 0.6% virtual energy per lap is quite a lot. Understeer. Turned in a bit too early. It's difficult to see the apex when a big GT3 parks on it. Even though the Mclaren is probably one of the smaller GT3s. But I'm pretty sure Michi now has a lot more fuel than I. That line doesn't work. I thought it would work quite well, but sometimes the wheels just get hooked. Kind of like yesterday in 1950s Monaco, when I made a visit into that bridge. When a curb pulled me to the left. The front washing wide. Yeah, Michi is going lap longer, 100%. imagine the Mustang in front of you. Well, in 2 months I will actually see a Mustang ahead of me. Looking forward to that, but I wonder how much bigger it is. At least 3 times, right? To be honest, Michi is doing a tremendous job here. I believe he's lift and coasting enough to make it 11, but he's still fast in the corners. Hanach in P3 is not falling down either. As the sunset is happening, I wonder what to do with the fuel. If I box for tires, I'm gonna lose a lot of positions. I could underfuel by a lap, but maybe that will be a strategical nightmare then for the last stint. Carol, I think in the setup it's 100%, yes. Although not sure if I'm really ever using the whole 100% without having ABS. Yeah, rain is 50-50. It could be a dry race. So 88 FPS. Alright, if that's as bad as it's gonna get, it's drivable. I cannot swap tires. I could take like 1 lap less of energy. Lowering post, yeah, I have lowest post processing. I think I only have texture detail, texture filtering, and like player car details and anti-aliasing on high. Everything else is off or lowest. But it's a CPU issue in the end. Shark, I don't think it will, because the race is 35 or 36 laps. Would need 12 per stint, but that's just impossible. Thinking about it now, if I gain P1 and then Michi is just sitting behind me saving fuel, it's not the best either. Or Michi with a snap, got it. Murguli is out of the race. A lot of fast people are going out. I think Murguli lives in hypercar anyway. Feels like I kind of should switch tires, to be honest. But I'm just gonna lose so much time in overtaking. And Michi goes on for another lap. Actually, yeah, let's just do it like this. So I'm thinking I have 0.7% of a, well, actually, yeah, 0.7% of a lap of energy remaining. So the pit stop will be shorter anyway, even if I do a full stop compared to Michi. So if he goes for a full tank now, I will be P1. But then I need to stay ahead. I keep forgetting it's automatic pit limiter off in the settings. Hi Luke, thank you for the sub. So I see people behind did not change tires either, so I would have been absolutely stuck behind them. Although the strategy that I didn't think about was new tires and 6 laps of fuel, and and then do full stints till the end. That would maybe put me still P1 or at least P2, but on new tires, and then maybe pull away. Yeah, let's see. I mean, with 86, 87, 88% remaining, I cannot really complain. But it is a lot about the thermal degradation, which is not included in those percentages. And it's been rather hot for the first stint. Hi Francisca. Understood. The relatively late time slot is surely also playing some impact on having actually less players now in the evening compared to afternoon. People having to go to school and work early on Monday. And this race is gonna end after 11 Central European time. So it's a rather late one. So P2 is still out. He must have massively underfueled. Maybe he went with that half tank new tires strategy. Although then he would be pulling away. Gilles Nil has exited the server. That's a lot of fast names. DNFing. But yeah, I think after this stint, for sure I will be switching tires. And I'll count on having not enough rain to warrant another tire change into wets. It's only 12 seconds, right? And not only that, but we have tire warmers here still, I believe. It has the 23 rules, so we don't have to heat up the tires. Le Mans specific rules. So we have Michi in the box, we have Michi out of the box, and we are in the lead. With 2 laps less of fuel. And if not anything else, I'm now slightly in his head, making him wonder what is going on. And if that costs him half a second, it's already kind of a win for me. The lap times are not dropping as well, because the track is cooling down, so there will be effectively less grip. And that could mean that will be beneficial to move brake bias to the rear, but I already have it quite rearwards. Yeah, 49.5. I'll just leave it there for now. Michi battling now. Has Michi done a mistake? He was not that far behind after the pits. Safety car mix, oh dear. Yeah, that happens. The safety car mix is like 200 horsepower less. Well, what happened with Hana now? What are they doing? I think Hana fully overtook Michi, right? And then potentially binned it somewhere. Like I always did now. Almost did it. Just Mclaren things. We try to flick it into corner to make it rotate because front is not biting enough. And then the rear strikes. So I think full tank of virtual energy is 38-ish seconds, 37. I spent 34 for taking, well, 9.5 laps of fuel, let's say. So let's say 35, 36 could do 10 laps. And that's 3.5, 3.6 per lap. So Michi is now 2 laps longer than I, which means he has 7-ish seconds on me. Hi Mark. So in theory we are now battling side by side, kind of, or maybe he's actually slightly ahead. Hana died at Indy, oh poor man, like fully died or what? I mean at Indy you normally fully die, there is no small moment at Indy. Hi Linus, I have Simicube 2 Pro wheelbase. I have no grip in the tires. I have Grid Engineering Porsche RSR 911 replica. And if you look closely, you will see this Grid Engineering rally kind of style pull push shifter attached. That I don't really use at the moment, but it's sitting there. That grass is not grippy. And about the pedals, it's Hoisenfeld sprints. "42 seconds, 100% energy." It depends on the car. I think... I'm not sure how big fuel, how much fuel Ferrari needs. But McLaren needs like 75 liters. And then I know that BMW needs like 66. It's much more efficient. But it could be that like Corvette requires 80 plus. Although energy is energy, right? It's not concurrent to fuel, or maybe it's concurrent, but it's slower. Decent suspension damage. Yeah, it's not the greatest feeling to have decent suspension damage around Le Mans. Nice hesitation on the exit. "78, 79 liters, yeah, that makes sense. I'm not sure. Fanatec CSL DD. Well, Francesca, about Fanatec, I mean, I have never tried it, I have never used it. But I know like 20 people that have used Fanatec, with like 18 of them having a significant problem with it sooner or later. And I know a couple of people struggling with Fanatec in RF2 specifically, which is, well, predecessor to LMU, where the FFB would become worse and worse the longer you would be escaping, like if you were doing practice, or like if you moved session. I think the problem was when moving session, like from practice to quali and quali to race. If you then click drive, then it would just destroy FFB and you needed to rejoin. I don't know if they fixed that, but at the same time I used a lot of Trustmaster wheels, the T300, T500 RS, and I said many times that, well, I had ball bearings flying out of the mid-races, like literal metal balls falling into my lap from the wheelbase. So it's a bit of a... it's tricky in the mid-range, right? Because it's made to be more like for broad market, and then if you're racing a lot, it means that you're just gonna wear it. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know. I've not really been looking at the steering wheel market and like the more budget-friendly options for the DD wheels. I guess the Moza ones are good, but yeah, I saw, who was it, Nikodim Wisniewski. He was still at Williams Esports. He was doing a race. He was leading, suddenly the shifters didn't work anymore. He pulled the quick release on a very short straight. It was like, I think it was even like at Zandvoort, between turn 2 and 3. It's not really a straight, but he pulled the quick release and quickly reattached it in the middle of a kind of curvy straight, and that fixed the problem. Then I saw some... it was Peter Burliak who was at Williams as well, having Fanatec sponsored wheel. He was often having wheel disconnections mid-races, with the car like going fully left instantaneously. So yeah, I don't know. Alright, Francisca, have a good school day tomorrow. Alright, Honda, then I suppose it's been kind of fixed. As far as I understood, it was kind of some kind of driver issue that Fanatec were reluctant to fix, but maybe Studio 397 was kind of reluctant to fully push for a proper fix as well, but they actually had to do it for LMU. Hello, Erwin. Passing me on the left. Good to hear, Sadi. My old teammate David was going from Trustmaster T300 to the belt-driven Fanatec Club Sport. He said it's been a massive improvement. Like, I mean, it's a kind of, when it works, it's a solid product more often than not, for sure. I mean, it has to be, otherwise they would have been bankrupt way earlier than they actually were. Sash, I think... when was it? Must have been 3 years ago. But I think nowadays he has SimuCube as well. Michi is flying. Or am I just so slow? He gained 3 seconds in a couple of laps. Yeah, T300 is, I mean, top level, depends on what is top level. Like my Le Mans virtual pole position in 2020 in the first edition was on TSPC. It's a belt-driven Trustmaster, quite stronger than T300, but slightly less smooth. I think like going from Logitech belt or like gear-driven FFB that DFGT had to T300 RS was a greater jump than going from T300 RS to Simicube. I mean, it's still a big jump, but not as big of a jump. And then again with the highest end, the direct drive steering wheels, like they're just so good that you're not limited by steering wheel anymore anyway, you're just limited by the like how good the devs can make FFB. Barclay in P3 is keeping the margin or the gap quite consistently as well, not really dropping behind. Hi Alex, it's going alright, although Michi is effectively ahead by a couple of seconds. I need to improve my pace. Yeah, in 2020, arguably half of people did not even have direct drive wheels. Not even sure when Michi got his one, but he got the like pre-Simicube OSW something, I don't know. I'm scared of Indy King. I'm leaving 2 tenths per lap there, every lap. Yeah, Jan, that's a good point. I mean, Rudy van Buren qualified for that world fastest gamer on G27, I think. Michi is flying, like I mean, I did quite a substantial mistake, but he's just relentlessly lapping very fast. And I'm doing more and more of these Mclaren things. Ah, sorry Walter. Next time I will practice a bit more. Probably I can find the 35 seconds of pace that are missing. Yeah, clearly I clearly don't know, yes. Maybe it's a setup issue. I'm going 40 kph too slow on the straights compared to hypercars. I didn't optimize my drag. Actually, no, it's more than 40, right? Hypercars go like 330, 335. This goes to 80. Yeah, it's like 50 kph difference. Finally, momentarily, I gained 3 tenths to Michi. But I had 6 seconds of pace or gap, now only 2.5. It also depends on the steering wheel side of things, what you drive. I think for GT3 it's less important than if you're driving like R Factor 2 Formula 1 style cars, where you need to really feel what the car is doing and really be very precise everywhere. And then you just cannot react as quick on a non-DD wheel. Again, I would think it's the same fast. Any wheel that you use is same fast. It's just the consistency. Like I would say, if I have 10 attempts of Super Esports quali, I don't know, maybe 3 are good on a Logitech, 4 or 5 are good on medium range belt driven wheel, and then 6 or 7 on top end DD, just because of how more comfortable you are. But again, it depends if you have done 5,000 laps of practice or 30 laps of practice. Get back down to 2.1. What has Michi had for dinner? He kept complaining to me in Discord that he's a second of pace. Now he's, well, with more fuel, catching me. I'm really struggling with the rears. Maybe he has destroyed the fronts more and now his balance is more neutral. Although looking at the temperatures and at the percentages, there is nothing to be blamed. The rear is all over the place. Yeah, I suppose, yeah. Kind of tempted to box and get new tires. It's right in the middle of the race. But it's all gambling on what the ACC pleb it's all gambling on what the weather will do. Cloudy and drizzle, it's already in the forecast. Oof. Oof. That means it's gonna be early drizzle. But for sure on new tires I can quite quickly gain the lost 12 seconds. I don't know. I guess we're continuing. I was like, well, let's box. But then in the split second decision at the pit entry my brain said, no, one more lap. So I steered left instead of right. Probably not gonna make a huge difference anyway. Oh yes, Ryan, the car's been patched. Where do you guys buy these 9800 X3Ds? They're just not available. Hi Vojta. Always buy early. Yeah, I guess. I kind of told myself I'm gonna wait for a bit to see how it goes. And missed my chance. I am struggling so much with the rear. Like if I do everything correctly, the gap stays same to Michi, but then I have a little slide, he gains 3/10. Barclay is gaining on me as well. I've been clean on tires. I'm quite confused. Maybe a bit forward on brake bias for the time being. Hi Papa Lenny, I think it was 54. Probably half hypercars, half GT3s, quite a big grid. Alright then, box. Oh, that's not the correct button. Wait. Michi in. Michi in. $48, so it was now, it would be 35 because it's non-concurrent for virtual. Ooh, what's happening ahead? Michi man. At Imola last time somebody rammed him into the rear when he boxed. What position in class? Basically fighting for P1 effectively with Michi. And this will be very interesting. That's Michi ahead. Did he underfuel now? That's quite a substantial gap. I think he went now with the shortest stint and he will refuel more later. In 5 seconds is 2 laps. And then I was 2 laps shorter. Although I wasn't really 2 laps shorter. Because I have refueled for almost like 80% of additional lap. So much more grip. As the sun is somewhere. Quite an overcast race. But it's getting bright. Still medium grip. That's not correct for sure. Like it doesn't stay medium grip. It maybe starts on medium grip, but then it's surely increasing. .5. That's a big difference. Let's see. Michi had 41. Maybe he's a lap shorter. Or maybe he must still have had something in the tank. And then maybe just decided that he will box when I box, because then he has a shorter pit stop. Hi VST. It's going well. Long race, big battle, strategical battle. For now it feels like Michi has a bit of an edge. But let's see. I have so much more confidence now on new tires. Michi, he can be the bad guy, yeah. The front didn't bite. Or maybe the rear didn't drift. Well, still gaining time to Michi. A 10th overall. Nah, it's back to the same gap. If I can be within 3 seconds of him, then if he actually has less fuel now, I can jump him at the last pit stop. Mitch is sending poisoned seeds. I never had a pet parrot. I had those, it's not hamster, but it's like, I don't even know, the direct translation would be a desert jumper. But those didn't need to be poisoned, those just ate themselves and died. Poor animals. Now Walter coming up with the big theories. I'm gonna be quiet, Jan. Keep going. Again, about the inside man, I guess it's well, if I would say what is on my stream is like public knowledge anyway. Effectively, we are teammates with Michi, so it's not that bad. But I keep destroying your drive to survive drama, right? Michi, my arch nemesis. I'm catching him a second per lap. I'm gonna spin him around into Porsche curves when I catch him. Brothers. The sim racing brothers, potentially. Well, we've been teammates since... I mean, with breaks in between, but since 2018. You can find some drama between us though. 2017 Formula Sim Racing. I dived him into turn 6 or whatever at Istanbul. He turned in on me, protested me, I got a penalty. I forwarded it to Court of Appeal, which is like a secondary judging body of Formula Sim Racing. It was kind of drama. Alright, have a good sleep, Jankish. I like to troll Michi sometimes. Sometimes he needs to be trolled. So that was not a cut. I went so much more deep on the left side of the chicane compared to my quali lap, and quali was invalid. grip is returning to the track though. Even though it's only 13.7 Celsius, the delta is getting green. Well, Christos, I guess that's one way to interpret things. Has my virtual mirror just like turned off and on again? It kind of flashed. Hi Andy, I'm thinking of how to do it. I kind of assumed that these weekly and special events are gonna be parts of the championship, but now I'm kind of confused of what to go for. Let's see if there is... let's say there is like a championship race in the system at this time, like 8 Sunday evening, Central European time, and then there is a special event or a weekly race at the same time. Then I don't know what to do really. I don't want these grids to be dissolved too much. Thank you for the subs, by the way. Purple sector 2. Interesting. Forecast still cloudy and drizzle. How long is it gonna take? But if forecast says drizzle, it's gonna drizzle, right? Surely. Virtual mirror blinked. Okay. That's a bug. A 51% chance, but it's been already, like the dice has been thrown. And it says cloudy and drizzle, so... I guess the server knows already. I think this car, it has a bit of that RF2 effect, that if you have a bit of understeer mid-corner, you can always just turn in a little bit more and it will grip a little bit more. Which is not really how it should be. Finally a PB. Ah, copy Andy. Interesting. So I need to start say sorry for the Slavic English. That's a cut? It's not. But it's literally very difficult to pronounce the R in the English way. Because then it's just not a letter, it's just a R. I don't know how to say R without saying R. It's tricky. And I feel like if I pronounce it the English way, it's just unintelligible. What is that Formula 2 driver? I see the highlights on Formula 1 YouTube channel, and there is like a driver which doesn't have an R in his surname, but they put one into it. Is it like Goethe or Goethe, and they say Goethe or something like that? I get confused every time. Charles versus Carlos or Lewis versus George? That's an interesting question. Well, Michi can be sometimes seen wearing a Mercedes AMG eSports jersey or whatever that is. I have an official Ferrari t-shirt from Monza at home. So maybe it's two McLarens, but we're actually, I don't know, Lewis versus Charles. Oh wait, that's actually interesting because they're actually Ferrari teammates now, right? I'm the moderately bad guy. Yeah, I'm trying to be as moderately bad as I can. Sometimes there is nothing more unintelligible than that was close than an Englishman talking English. Then if a Slavic guy talks in English, I understand everything. We kind of should be in the Fefes, because the Ferrari seems to be the faster car around here. But again, I convinced Michi that McLaren is nice. Unfortunate traffic. Oh, that was Daniele. And Michi is 6 seconds away again. No. Am I gonna ever close in properly? Is shiny? I'm not really sure. I don't really think so. I think they're all kind of doing the same. Like 281, 282, depending on the setup. But it's more about acceleration and the gear ratios and what happens on the straight. And I think Ferrari is faster in high speed, it has a bit more downforce. But then it potentially struggles with 6th gear. If I don't really remember, I think in RF2 it was impossible to drive it on the straights because, well, it had long 5th gear, so if it was short straight it was great, but if you had to go to 6th gear, as soon as you upshifted to 6th you were dead, not accelerating anymore. Not sure if it's still like that. What's my opinion about Corvette? It's you need to be having a special driving style to like it. It's diving a lot, so like the front compresses a lot, rear goes into the air on the entries on the braking, and it's super oversteery. So it has brilliant rotation. You can make it rotate as much as you want, everywhere. And I'm not that kind of a guy. I prefer the BMW balance with the engine on the front and kind of having to make it, to force it to rotate. Ah, that's a good way to take the last chicane. Thought it was gonna be a cut, but it wasn't. Delta is happy not having a hypercar diving me into Tertre Rouge. The JJ shop. One day, maybe. Till then, I'll be giving too much free opinion. Dive bomb him. Ah, he's got him in the straight. Unlucky. Oh, the pace is coming towards us, quite nice. There is no thermal deck in these conditions. Or, well, much less than in the first stint, so the car is getting better and better indeed. I should have gone for tire swap potentially after first pit stop, or, well, during the first pit stop. I would have to overtake like 3 or 4 cars, but potentially it would have been worth it. I never know if it's better to take the left side tires on the inside of that curb. The curb is kind of bouncy and has bad traction, but you can just open up the corner a lot more. that's been a good lap. If the balance was like that for the whole race, my job would have been so much easier. And I saw Michi really pushing the car into high-speed corners, like always kind of melting his front left into Porsche 1. But he still had pace on me in the end of the second stint. Yeah, what's up with Cadillacs? They have been, well, unreasonably fast recently. Uh-oh, the Ferraris. Why does not that happen to Michi? He will get them. Maybe they dive him into turn, well, into the Mulsanne hairpin. Come on, dive, dive, dive. They were waiting behind. Unfortunately. Lost half a second because of that. Again, new race, new complaints for me about traffic. Why is that going on? I keep losing time in traffic compared to others. Every time. Or maybe it's just the new installment of the why me syndrome. Get a Uber next time. Right. Shiny, I think, even before the new physics, there was a race when there was a caddy. It was the Imola race. Where Amici won in the end, I think. Or wait, what exactly happened in that race? No, it was the Italian guy. Was it Matteo Blotto or Marco Buono or some Italian won the race, but he was battling with the caddy, and the caddy had massive pace, but had a glitch and went straight into the last two corners. Funny how Michi's car blinks because it loads the cars in the garages, and I have like 9 visible vehicles. Hi Nick. He got me in the corner. He will get Michi on the straight. And gap to Michi 4.7. You cannot believe it. Let me know when I should stop complaining about traffic. I lost like, I don't know, second and a half now or 2 seconds because of unlucky traffic. Okay, enough of complaining for now. It seems like I have almost a second per lap raw pace advantage now. Unless Michi is doing another 11 lap stint. But I don't think he is. That would make no sense. The rain is not gonna come, is it? Pete, you mean like a reverse YouTube membership? Where I have to send out free money or free memberships in order to be able to complain about traffic. Well, YouTube would love it. They would take a fee and be happy. Colin, it's 3 pit stops. It's like the GTE can do, or GT3 can do 10 or 11 laps, and it's a 36 lap race, 35, 36. A swear jar, yeah, maybe. A traffic jar. I mean, it's kind of like good data acquisition, because every time I get traffic and lose time, it gets filled, and then in the end I just count all together how much time I lost in traffic and how unlucky I am. Enjoy the event, Colin. What's the chance to make my dream come true? The dream of Michi actually having to box this lap. Not very probable, right? And then I need to figure out how much energy to take for the last stint. Tiny pedal says plus 66. kilograms for 1 lap. That would be interesting racing series, you know. having features like that. One lap of so much heavier car. Although if you watched my race yesterday, that Shelby Cobra modded into a 1954 Ferrari is faster on full tank than on empty tank, and full tank is 190 kilos. Although while it's sitting right over the rear axle, so kind of makes sense that it gets much better traction. Oh really, hyperdrives? I admit I've not followed it at all. But that makes great sense. Good ruling. Come on Michi box, you don't have enough fuel. Your fuel tank is absolutely empty, you have to box. He keeps going. Ah. Alright then. So 4 minutes times 7 is 28. Plus a minute for pit stop. Yeah, I need to fill up for 7 laps minimum, and then if we get unlucky with traffic, it's 8 laps. But what's the chance of 8 laps? Michi has 12.4 liters. That's not enough for... Is that... No, that's not enough for 2 laps. But he will have indeed a faster pit stop. But how is that possible? He gained so much during the pit stop. He gained like 6 seconds. I don't get it. Anyway. So I did 10, 9, 10. Could it be 8 more laps? No. It's... Or... No, it cannot be. It's maximum 7 more. He simply had a better pit crew. Yeah, potentially. I mean, there is an option to make the pit stops have a random factor. And we had more or less the same strategy. I took less fuel for the second stint. He then had to fuel more for the third stint. Although... I just don't get it. Anyway. Hi Mark, thank you for the sub. take 67%. It should be enough. In the worst case. Gently brushed the barrier. So Michi box. Indeed. Now let's see how much he gains by having more energy remaining. Why is it saying 2 new tires left? I only changed 4 tires. And it was saying 10 at the start. He's already going. Can I beat the bad guy? And take the shorter lane out of the pits? It's legal, so... He again gained like 4 seconds. I just don't get it. How much did I gain at the start? I was a second behind. I emerged out of the pits 3 seconds ahead, I think. It's like 4 seconds. Then he was in a safety car mix, so he lost 3 extra seconds. But well, that safety car mix for a couple of corners surely didn't give him 10 extra liters of fuel. Well, shiny, but I kind of imagine that if it says 10 fresh tires remaining, it kind of means other than those that you have on the car. Yep, rip no rain indeed. But yeah, Michi gained so 4 seconds, 3 seconds now, maybe 4. And in the second pit stop it was, I don't know, I'm trying to calculate and it feels like he just had like 3 or 4 seconds gain overall in the pits. But I think we both have enough fuel for extra 7 laps. That's good pit. I need to confuse him as much as possible because I need to gain a second per lap now. Tire allocation. Okay, well that makes sense. Maybe I was checking it during quali even. In that case it's all good. But maybe I looked at it on the grid. Well, Marius, that might be correct, but you know, as a sim racing driver, you are both engineer and race engineer and setup engineer and team manager and data engineer and test driver and race driver and reserve driver and everything at the same time, and the investor, and so forgive me for thinking too much. Copy, Andy. It's gonna be 5 more laps, right? Or actually no, probably 6. Because Mclaren, the leader in LMH, I'm thinking again, am I not? Yeah, the hypercar leader has passed us now. In 20 minutes he will not re-catch us, but he will start his last lap just before it goes to 0, and then we will cross the line at 0 and have to do another one. Yeah, esports try-harding for sure from both of us. Well, I gained almost a second to Michi already. Copy, Andy. That would be interesting to have 10 tires for both sessions. That would actually make it much more strategically interesting. At the moment it's not really a limiting factor. Flacino, I wish it was that easy, but I'm trying. The gap needs to be like 4 seconds or less over the start-finish line this lap. My steering wheel says I'm trying. I'm sure it does. So where is the gap? 4.3. That wasn't enough. traffic gave me back a little bit. 3.9. It's funny how it's still saying cloudy and drizzle. It should kind of change once the actual weather setting settles in. And that medium grip, that's I don't believe it. Except if it's a static real road with only changing wetness and temperature, but yeah, I'll need a little bit more of help from hypercars. Correctly timed so that Michi loses a little bit more. I'm really pushing it into ABS slightly too much. Come on, into Indy. Ah, he got him on the straight. About brake bias, I'm kind of happy with it. It's difficult to set it up precisely because ABS kind of cancels out slightly wrong settings. .6 with 4 to go. Unlucky. What's the chance Michi gets both of them in the middle of the straight? Živio Marian. FFB is... I mean, it does feel like RF2. It's good. Some would say it's slightly less powerful in low speed compared to RF2, but I mean the FFB engine is I think roughly the same. It's more about what the tires do here, and in RF2 in low speed you can do crazy slip angles and stuff, and that gives you a lot of FFB because you actually have a lot of grip. Here the slip angles are somewhat resolved, so you don't get that much grip. And therefore some people complain that in low speed there is not enough feeling. But well, the more I drive LMU, the less I can relate. Initially I struggled, especially on some hypercars. I think Ferrari particularly, it just didn't have any front. But yeah, they overdid it, like it's lights too much for sure. They tried to make it more approachable for the GT3 release. They flattened the edge of the tire on all cars, and now it's slightly too forgiving. Thank you. He sensed that I moved my finger over top of the headlights flash. Dear traffic. Well, he has the chance to properly kill Michi now. He's not properly killing Michi. At least a little bit of time has been lost. How much can I cut? 2 more points. Yeah, I'm comparing GT3s to GTEs. I know. GTEs will be, well, having more downforce and will be more stuck to the ground. GT3s will always be moving around more. Ah, I see. Yeah, I've never tried the EURD GTEs, to be honest. Never got the chance. Honestly, I was never really that much into GT cars. Michi, please dip some tires in some gravel. Just lose like half a second or maybe 1 second. It's such a long race, and in the end it's such a small margin, and then I'm thinking like so many opportunities during the race to gain those 3 seconds. hyperdrives, it's we are not on the voice chat. We would be if I had a better CPU, but I have to have Discord closed for every extra frame per second and so on. That Porsche could dive Mitch into the last two chicanes. Come on, let's go. Ooh. He didn't really cost him any time. Hi Matthias, yeah, it's indeed great fun. Guys, you have Michi ahead. Come on, look at him there. Dive him, not me. They will get him in the straight. Or maybe into Tertre Rouge? Nope, of course not. On the straight. But I mean, I have to complain about traffic. Like this is just very unlucky. I mean, it's never a huge deal in GT3s because you just lose like half a second. But it's still been like 4 or 5 times like the half of a second. And for Michi it's been 1 time. That's how it is from my perspective. And then when they were behind me, they dived. And when that guy was behind me into the 4 chicanes, he waited behind. So many chances. Yeah, no, I suppose. Do you pros ever make mistakes? Check my yesterday's stream and check the timestamp in the comments. Check the last one. And they say you're as good as your last race was. So I'm a proper P2 driver now. FSR in 25. It depends. We're trying to do something nice with FSR, but I cannot say anything about it, and we are not sure if it's gonna happen or not. But if there is nothing big, if it's just like an RF2 league, it's gonna be difficult to get people doing it. I would love to do some NASCAR one day. I like the oval racing somehow. Maybe it's because I have been fed GT3s at Spa at least 3,000 times in the past few years. So I like to have something different. So indeed, we are now going into the last lap. And then RF2 has NASCARs, but they are absolute rubbish. They were like, we raced them at Daytona, they were like 15 seconds per lap too fast. It's almost as bad as iRacing on the Ferrari hypercar there. Had to do it, sorry. Well, RF2 is still the moddable version of LMU, right? With a bit dumber tire physics and some other stuff. So, I mean, yeah, if Jimmy is happy to move VC to LMU, that's the major RF2 league gone, and then if FSR doesn't really become anything bigger than it is at the moment, it's becoming trickier and trickier. And then Stephen Hood said that they would be more looking towards something like R Factor 3 than keeping RF2 alive. Yeah, RF2 is still like by far more the most customizable. I mean, then you have the old AC, which is even more, but well, it's a lot dumber of a sim than RF2 when it comes to physics complexity. Michi is teasing me, driving slower than needed. And across the line. Ah, that was actually faster lap time than my quali lap. I'm dead. Energy was very marginal as well. I think engine started coughing with too little fuel in the end. GG Michi. Well, that was a nice race. I would do donuts, but the engine was not having enough fuel and there is no time to do donuts. It just cuts off. Is there some results? I guess we will see the gap in the end. Actually, let's quickly just check one thing. I wonder how Sven died. Must have been here. I mean, if a race goes to like 2 seconds margin after 2.4 hours, it's for sure a huge success. He lost it himself. It was the downshift. Into second gear. He was not much on the brakes, so ABS was not helping him to stabilize the car, and he dropped it. Ah, poor man. And then he got... What happened with him then? Is that already damaged car? I mean, I guess we will not find any rocket science here. He just DNF'd. Wait. Oh, okay. I mean, not okay, but found it. That was on Sven. That's such a McLaren thing. I mean, we could call it a Porsche thing as well. Like rear or like mid rear engine. You turn in, the rear starts sliding. He would have binned it even without the hypercar, I think. Why don't my tab or like driver labels work? Anyway, yeah, that was unfortunate for him. Anyway, I guess we have waited for long enough so that everyone has crossed the line. We can marvel at my lap time, 58.9. That was a very nice lap time. 2 purples. I need to watch my last chicane, because that was a very big send. But again, look at that gap after 2.4 hours. Such a nice race. Looking it from this point of view, it just looks like a very clean, safe lane. Are they racing like this in real life? One tire within the sausage. That shouldn't be realistic, right? That should absolutely destroy the chassis, the suspension, the splitter. I wish LMU could somehow simulate something to prevent people taking these lanes. Hi Sven. Oof, okay. Only one tire replaced. Yeah, then I understand it. Alright. Let's quickly check the DR gain and the actual finish gap. I need a break after this. Like yesterday, 3-hour race. Today, 2.4-hour race. 4.9. Have they bopped the calculations for this? Like, why am I only gaining +5? Is that correct? I mean, it was quite a big of a field. Many gold drivers. Feels like I should be gaining more. Like, we did gain like +30, +40 in the past. Why is this bugged? I cannot scroll. Now I can. Alright, so shame that there is no tents added to this. Would be lovely to actually see. But well, we can assume it's like 1 second gap, P1 to P2, after 2.4 hours. What a race. Now I don't want to touch McLaren for at least 3 months. I want some BMW. Ah, rip Sven. 37 is painful. Has then there been no Corvettes? 1 Corvette. It's a strange car, that Corvette. Anyway, time to go to bed. P25 to pay. That's quite a race, Michelle. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with this DR. I mean, it shouldn't be that easy to get anyway, but I mean, anyway. See you guys. Thank you so much for the chatting, for the subs, for the likes. Probably I'm gonna stream on Tuesday. Let's see, Tuesday or Wednesday. Most likely Tuesday. Some more sprint races. Have a good night. Bye bye.